Studnick Aquatics here. I am doing a water change on my 240-gallon aquarium. It is 8 foot long, 2 foot tall, 2 foot front to back. I have dual wet-dry trickle filter systems on this thing. It used to be salt water for a long time, and I moved it to a South American cichlid setup. And basically what I am doing here is I shut down, these are hooked in tandem, there's two of them, and I shut them down, and then basically all I'm doing is siphoning water out of there using a siphon tube. And this is a long siphon tube, otherwise if you use a short one you pull sand, and I don't want to pull sand, so I'm running it into the shop, and I have it in a regular aquarium change system, running cold water on that, pulling a siphon, and I'll probably do about 20% on this thing, and then I will reverse that and fill it. In the meantime, you have to be very careful with acrylic. When I had this in salt water, I ended up scratching it quite a bit, and I actually have a series on what I did to remove the scratches from that acrylic, and I am very glad I did it. It was a wonderful thing to do. It took a lot of time, but man, it turned out nice when it was done. So I have found out that with this South American cichlid setup here, the algae is much easier to remove than when you have salt water. So basically what I have is a trapezoid overflow, and you can see them right there, and it falls into that trapezoid overflow, which is those right there. And once it does that, it drops down, and each one drops into its own wet-dry filter, with the main valve being up here. And then this is your mechanical filtration. I'm going to replace this right now. I just did the other one. This is the filter media here, and then it goes into this chamber with a heater. And from there, this one actually goes through a UV sterilizer system. I also have the ability to run it through a phosphate reactor, which is what I do. I know you don't normally use a lot of them on freshwater, but it really works well to keep that algae down. And so that's what I'm doing. So I will probably add a little bit more to this when I get done, when I'm filling it, and then I'll add one in when it's done, because it's going to be really nice when it's done. So anyway, this is Studnick Aquatics, and I'll add more later. I have my filter floss changed on both of the wet dries, this one and this one. And I am now adding water back in. Make sure you're at the right temp. And I always, on South Americans, I always replace water. The water that I replace is always about 2 to 3 degrees colder than what I take out. And sometimes when you do that, I don't know, I think it makes the fish a little more responsive. And I've also triggered spawns by doing that. And these firemouths might very well spawn after this. I think it simulates rain coming into their natural habitat, which is always cooler than the water, down below. So anyway, I am filling it back up now, and when I get it to the point where it's just right, then I will kick everything back on. And when she settles, I will go ahead and add more to this, and also be sure and dechlorinate with a good water dechlorinator. I am on city water, so I have to do that. So I will add more later. I have completed the water change in my 240-gallon system. Everything is looking very good. What I have in there is a gold severum. He was about, maybe 2 inches when I got him, something like that. I do have 1 red psalm, and I have 4 firemouth cichlids. And actually, there are 3 different generations. So anyway, it looks really good. The water change is done. Changed out the filter floss. Went through the sand. And from the end here, it has a little bit of clearing up to do yet, because when it's crystal clear, you can see all the way to the end. You can now. It's starting to clear up really nice. Fish are looking great. Tank is looking really good. And it was time for a water change. So anyway, I really do like this system. It is stocked lightly, and I like that. That way it doesn't have a huge bio load. It's easier to take care of. I did build the entire facade on this. I built everything, filtration, you name it. So anyway, it's been a fun project. This is Studnick Aquatics, and thanks for watching.